Alrighty. Hey there. So I just got back from seeing Guardians of the Galaxy at the theater, and full disclosure, I wasn't sure what to expect. I saw some stuff that I really liked going into it, but I also saw some stuff that really worried me going into it. And while some of the stuff that actually did worry me wound up turning out really well. Some of the stuff that I didn't even see coming kind of bugged me. So I want to touch on that. I think, as well as the rest of the film. Now I'm actually gonna start off by saying this is a pretty off the wall concept, and this was a pretty ballsy move on the part of Marvel. Um, because this is something that was really gonna push suspension of disbelief. I mean, this had the talking animals. This had the aliens with the funky hairdos and head ridges and um, yeah, just all kinds. The Nova Corps, the Kree, they're all showing up in here. But I have to applaud them for making that move. That was something that a lot of studios probably would have passed on, and they didn't. However, as expected, there were some missteps. Now, to start out with the good, definitely liked how they handled a segue into whatever into him being Peter being in space. It was interesting, and it does kind of explain why he's a bit detached and loopy. Uh, from one seriously traumatic event right into another. I can understand why he has some I have a haunted fan. I can understand why he has some attachment issues with people. Um, it's a rare case of both wanting that connection, wanting attachment, and yet sabotaging it. It's stuff like that. So that he as a character in terms of that was handled really well. Um, Gamora, I can't really complain necessarily, though I still think she looked a little too fluorescent green. I'm not sure why they went with that. I think it was to offset it from like green screen green. I'm not sure. Um, but it did look a tad too fluorescent, but otherwise it was fine. It's like the makeup was made for darker scenes. Where I mean, she looked good when it was dark, and I know that actually kind of sounds insulting. But no, I mean, the makeup looked good in the dark. It's just when they were in any well lit area, it just seemed too glowy. So they might have wanted to, I don't know, change that up depending on their lighting, or I don't know. But anyway, um, now we're gonna touch on Groot. Groot, I liked, but it's really hard not to like Groot. He doesn't exactly have any real negative character traits. Um, and honestly, the way he was handled, they could have just let him be really dull. But they did actually give him some personality. They put inflection in, at least in the line. They had Rocket kind of translating every once in a while. So, you kind of get the idea of what he's saying, what he's doing, what's going on there. Um, and so on and so forth. My biggest issue, though, with Groot is. Okay, it's kind of spoilerific, but I'll just say that it's actually an issue with the movie as a whole. And that's one of the big emotional moments is kind of pinned to Groot and kind of requires you to not know a thing about Groot for it to have the full impact. Yeah, But anyway, then there's Drax. Ugh. Bautista. I was worried about that casting, and that turned out to be a justified worry. Uh, his delivery works sometimes. Sometimes it's great. It's just spot on. They're going for humor. It's funny. That's fine. But in moments where he's supposed to be serious and you're supposed to feel his pain, you're supposed to feel his anger, it doesn't come across too well. Like, I don't know. It just feels kind of flat when he tries that. When he tries to be funny, or do his comedic stuff, that's golden. It really is. But when he tries to do anything serious, um, yeah. Now, moving on, Rocket. Rocket Raccoon was almost 100% perfect. He was. He had his gun boner. He had his fascination with rewiring things. He had the attitude. He had everything that he needed. The only thing that he was missing that stops him from being perfect was the accent. Why would you not give him his accent? I still don't understand that change. Um, I understand that some changes were bound to happen, yada yada. I get that. Okay, this didn't need to change, and I'm not sure why they did. But you know, it's a nitpick. He was great. He was funny as heck too. Oh, and yet cute at the same time. I want a Rocket plush. I do. I'm not ashamed of it. But yeah. And there was some good team cohesion there. There was. I'm not gonna lie. They had some good chemistry together. But as is typical of Marvel movies, the villain. The villain really could have used some more time, some more development. I mean, he did honestly get more than Malekith did. But for someone who was so big in scale and also personal to one of the characters, you would think that they would spend a little more time on him. And Thanos too. I understand that you're showing him for the first time, but I wanted something that made me fear him. Something that made me see what a menace he is. Right now, all I'm hearing is, he's a thing, okay, and oh, this guy with an Infinity Stone thinks he could have taken him down. That is like the extent of what I'm hearing for Thanos. There are things that they could have done in the movie to oh well. But yeah, it's just and another thing that did kind of bug me was the Collector. I'm not a big fan of Benicio del Toro or how he's going about playing him, but it's a small part, so whatever. But yeah, the villains just never seem to get any love in Marvel movies unless they're Loki. I mean, now even Thanos has been short-sheeted. But yeah, eh, it is what it is. Um, it was funny. It was certainly funny, but there were some things that they just kind of made me cringe. And specifically in the very beginning, there was well, not the very very beginning, but there is a dance sequence, and it made me cringe. It reminded me so much of Spider-Man 3. It wasn't even funny necessarily, and it drug on too long. It's like they figured, we paid for the whole song, we're damn sure gonna use it, and so it just, I don't know. I personally did not think that was needed at all. The other time it was used, it did kind of make sense, and it was funny, and it did not drag on. But there it did. They could have shortened that by a significant amount. I think the main reason it was so cringeworthy was they just kind of drug it on. But another thing that I have issue with is some of the unnecessary slow motion that they throw in there. I mean, it's like he wanted to take cues from Michael Bay in that sense, in a couple of times. Um, like there's an example, very beginning again. You got you got Star Lord, you got Quill jump into a ship and slow motion for no reason. It's like there's not even like really laser bolts or anything, flying by him or anything. It's just slow. They slow it down. And I know that it's probably because that was meant to be a big 3D shot, but I mean, it's one thing to have 3D shots. It's another to have them so blatant like that. um, and I saw this in 2D too, so that's gonna be kind of lost on an audience. Oh my, excuse me. That's gonna be kind of lost on an audience that goes to see the movie in 2D. Um, but other than that, the action was great. They used a lot of practical set work and environments, and that is something that I really wish Star Wars. I really hope they take a cue from that because they CG'd very little that they could do practically. I noticed, and I got to give them props for that. That was impressive. Um, but yeah, excuse me again. It's an interesting movie. It's good. I don't want people to think that it's bad because I'm mostly talking about the negative aspects. I'm just kind of trying to brace people, because this is some uneven territory, and I'm not gonna lie, it is kind of rough, especially the cutesy little justification or making it seem like his outlaw name was like preordained or something, and then they literally hand you up the sequel on a silver platter, the sequel plot. And it's like it doesn't feel natural or anything. It's like they have it pre-prepared for you, and I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. God, but yes, it was an immensely funny movie. I liked it a lot. Rocket, Racoon. Oh my god, freaking hilarious. And I'd probably give it 7.8 out of 10, definitely. Um, really pretty rough around the edges, but it's nothing they can't polish up, fix up, you know. And some of it's nitpicky. Some people might like it. I don't know. At any rate, that's it for now, guys, and I will catch you later.